Okay, everybody. So thanks for being patient while we work through that, and thanks to John and your associate here for helping getting this going. So we'll work on polishing it up, everybody. So the first item on the agenda is the minutes review. So we'd be looking for any changes to the minutes. I know there is one that I'm aware of, and that is the NITZA, I think is the NSHTA?
NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Jackie sent me the email explaining, the acronym. So
okay.
That's been corrected.
That's the only thing that I saw. So if there's anybody else that has anything.
Okay. Motion.
Could we get a motion to accept the minutes, please?
So moved. Second.
Can one of y'all second it?
Second.
This is Mike Crummer, and I'll second it.
Thank you.
From Ryan?
Yes, it was Mike Crumline. Okay, so next item is an introduction to Pamela Steinbach, the new Director of Planning for DelDOT, who is filling Mr. Cote's role now.
Yes.
So Pamela, what we do is we just do a quick introduction for the members. So I'm Scott Hoffman. I'm the acting chairman, Kent County resident, been on the council since 2016 or 17. So looking forward to working with you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Nice to virtually and in person meet you all. I don't have too much. I'm very glad that John has me on for 0 to 10 minutes. So that's fabulous because it's going to be closer to the 0. But I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited about the new job and to be working with such a great council. I did look on the website and got some good information about all the great work that you all have been doing. Specifically, I wanted to say a big thanks to John Fiore and to Anthony Aglio and to Jeff as good part of my new team that is going to be spearheading or has been spearheading all of the new initiatives and projects. And they are a great resource and will keep me on point for what I have to do here. So thank you for that. So just a FYI, I've been with the department for almost 18 years. I graduated from the U of D, Go Blue Hens, in 97. Good gracious. So that it's been a long time, but I just wanted to, do that introduction. And I'm very excited to get back on a bike again. I have asked John and Anthony to, give me tours of some of the new bike trails. So we're going to be dropping on the helmets and such and doing that. And ironically, one of my best childhood experiences was my dad teaching me how to bike. And that poor man, I think I had gotten the bike, it was about, I don't know, in the late afternoon. And then I was so determined to learn how to ride the bike that he was out there until dark, showing me how to ride a two-wheeler. So just wanted to thank you all again, and I will let you get on with your business.
All right. Thanks for coming, Pam.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Do any other introductions?
Any other introductions here? I don't think so.
Okay. So next item is the public comment.
I think first on the list was Keith.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
Thank you. How much time do I have? A couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. My name is Keith Steck. Like several of you, I'm a Sussex County resident. In the last 10 years, I live in Milton. I lived in Sussex, for 15 years before down here. And recently, I'm a bike rider. I used to be a bike rider. I've actually given it up because of safety concerns out on the highway, etc. And I sent John Fiore a very long email last week when someone had forwarded me information about the Bike Council. I will the case on the project here is the issue of bicycle in this county for riders, and a particularly dangerous practice that has been approved by officials in approving residential developments. The common practice that has started is to have a development with a main and a small, what I would call almost a secondary or satellite appendix across the street from the main part. The main part has the facilities, the pool, clubhouse, etc. The secondary part, which is much, much smaller, might have 10, 12, 20 houses. It doesn't have the facilities. They link the facilities across the road with a crosswalk. These crosswalks in some cases are on very dangerous S-curves. One was approved a couple of years ago that has been a problem. It's a danger for pedestrians. It's a danger for cyclists. More of these have been approved. Some of them have yet to be built, but some of them have been. We have we went to Secretary about this, and she said, "Oh, we'll straighten it out. It should not have been approved." That didn't happen. It has not happened. There are other actions being done to try and beef up the safety. It should never have been approved. It should not be there. If it's going to stay there, the developer should pay to have either a tunnel put under the road or an overhead connection. This is the same issue on other sites. It's come to attention, I think, on the rails to trails. They're looking at building an overhead connection from the Lewis to Georgetown rail to trail across Route 9 near Cool Spring, the Cool Spring area, Cool Spring Road. There's another area that is a particular concern below the intersection of Route 9 and Fisher Road. Maybe a quarter of a mile below, there is a proposal that is, I believe, has been approved for 250 homes. The rails to trails crosses right and literally above the proposed entrance to that. And this is off of Fisher Road. That is going to be another hazard. And I brought this up at a hearing, the planning and zoning hearing on this, because there should be an overhead path there for cyclists and pedestrians. So I think you get the picture. It's a real concern. It should not be going on. Those kinds of crosswalks should not be approved in residential areas. And these more substantive crosswalks, that area that I mentioned just a minute ago, is going to explode with development in the next couple of years. There's commercial development approved there. There is a Bay Health facility that is going to be constructed any day now on the north side of Route 9. And a huge development has been being proposed for that area. You're going to have literally thousands and thousands, and it's not an exaggeration. You're going to have thousands and thousands of vehicles. So if they're coming down Fisher Road, that rails to trails crossing should not be on the road. It should be raised above it. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Next I had down was Eric Spencer?
Hello. I joined the call today. I'm a resident of Bear, and I've put in a couple notes on the DelDOT, I want to say it was like issues website reporting. A couple years ago on northbound 72 Sunset Lake Road at Rybold Road, they added curbs on Rybold's connection to Sunset Lake Road, and they eliminated any bicycle facilities. It used to be, it's like a 6 or 8 foot wide shoulder that you could go through that intersection. And now northbound, there is nothing. You have to go into traffic. I put in an issue to DelDOT. Somebody kind of responded, we'll check it out. But it's like 3 years later, the curb's still there. I'm still going into traffic. It's not good. And then they did the same thing on the other end of Rybold Road at Salem Church Road. So if you're traveling south of Salem Church Road, you're also going into traffic on Salem Church Road to get past the intersection of Rybold, where it used to be like an 8 foot wide shoulder that you could navigate relatively safely. So I got on here to hope that some members of the Bike Council can work with whatever connections you have in DelDOT to perhaps rectify these intersections and make sure we're not doing that anymore. Too often we put in these curbs and there's no bicycle facilities to get through them, or they give you maybe like a 3 foot, but half of it's taken up with a storm drain. And that's almost just as bad as being in traffic. So council, please help us on these issues of these curbs being popped up without any bicycle facilities being planned in them. Thank you.
Eric, if you can email me, my email address is on the Delaware Bicycle Council website, and give me the names of like the proposed developments. This could have been, I don't know if it was done under a development or if it was done under a roadway project, but if you just send me an email with some more specifics, I'll see what I can do reaching out to other sections. This is definitely not our intent when it comes to DelDOT, either in our dots or our development coordination section, where there is an existing shoulder, to drop that shoulder and not allow an area for cyclists to safely maneuver through. So, I just don't know what happened in that situation. So if you just send me an email with some specifics, I'll see what I can find out.
Yeah, and sorry, can you tell me your name again?
Oh, sorry, John Fiore, F as in Frank, I-O-R-I.
Got it. Thanks, thanks, John.
Let's see. I don't think, unless somebody else raised their hands, I don't have anybody else for public comment.
There's others.
There's others? Okay.
Did you have John? Did you cover him already?
John Kay?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't, he was just introducing, he didn't.
Oh, I got you. Okay. All right, we got 2 more hands raised. Jerry Pennington.
Okay, Gary Pennington. Gary?
Apologies on the pronouncing.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead and lower my hand. I thought I lowered it. It's fine.
Only you, Gary.
It's a new system. We're all learning it.
There's a hand raised from someone that just says my computer.
Okay. You're ready to go, my computer?
Hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Mike Tyler. I don't know why it says my computer.
Okay. Mike is the actual council member.
Okay.
So he
There
can
was I tried to get on before to mention a couple of items in the minutes under the analysis of crash report there.
He's coming back as a panelist.
Okay. Hold on, Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
When I tried to, I raised my hand and tried to make a comment, but it wasn't coming through. I don't know why it says my computer, but I can fix that. Very first sentence, because John Fiore made a presentation on the crash report how could it be used? It should say how it could be used. It's kind of, it's reversed English.
All right, I got it.
And if you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, it says for manner of impact, it should be manner, M-A-N-E-N-E-R. See that? Just for clarification, because there's no manner involved here. And then, are we using the word pedicycle, John, or are we doing bicycle?
Okay, getting ahead of me here, Mike. Where were you at?
If you get down 4 lines from, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where it says, right under February 2021, the next line, it's like, if you just run your finger down on the right side, it says for manner, M-A-N-O-R. I don't think there's a manner involved in this. It's manner, M-A-N-N-E-R. Are you there?
Yep, I got it.
Okay, and then another question I had, are we using the word pedicycle or bicycle these days?
Using the word what?
Pedicycle. I think that's what's in the reports.
Okay, so pedicycle is what they use.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then this is just another minor.
Wait, what is a pedicycle as opposed to a bicycle?
Well, we don't know the answer to that. And unfortunately, Tyler's not here to explain it.
Okay.
Before we start changing, the bicycle is written throughout the code.
Yeah.
Okay. It's written throughout the Delaware Code. It's written throughout the new infrastructure bill. The word is bicycle. We should not be changing it to something undefined when the code, when all of our funding projects, the name of our committee is bicycle.
I agree.
I would not change anything to refer to something other than bicycle.
I think the issue, Marty, is that's the word that's in the state police reports. So while I agree with you that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I don't know that we can change their things. And unfortunately, Tyler's not here.
It's the same thing with like the point that you were making before, Marty, and what information we want to know for this kind of report, but it's just based on what the police report has. So unless we can come up with some kind of, unless we can have a conversation with the state police and they change their record, the way that they keep record of, that's just the way that they record things.
All right. Well, I mean, if that's what they're referring to it today, we should not be referring to it as that.
Well, remember that the thing that we're talking about the minutes is a discussion that John provided, which was a dictation essentially of what was in the report. So I agree with what you're saying, but this isn't a matter of our minutes being incorrect.
All right, that's fine. That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Mike. I don't think there's any other public comments we can.
You got one more hand raised.
Okay.
It's Roger Roy.
Oh, okay. He's a council member.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, Roger.
He's a panelist now.
Hey, Roger, you're a panelist.
Can you hear us, Roger?
Roger.
I can now hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be, my God, I've been trying to get on here for half an hour.
We've been trying to start the meeting for 45 minutes.
Roger, you didn't miss much.
Oh, God. I've been trying to get on, but I was on, I could see you all, but I couldn't, I was muted. Okay, I just remarked present.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now I think we're on to new business.
We are under new business and we're going to move expediently because we've used up so much time. So the next item is a presentation in absentia by Ed Robles on the minus Conway grade separation project, which John's going to play a recording.
Yes, this is a recording that
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ed Robles, and I am a project manager in DelDOT's Project Development South section. First off, I'd just like to apologize for not being able to attend today's meeting in person. I had a last-minute conflict that prevents me from attending. Nevertheless, I decided to prepare this recording to go over the Minus Conway GSI project and to more specifically go over our proposed work along the Georgetown to Lewis Trail. So during today's presentation, I will be going over a brief description of the project scope, an overview of the bike and pedestrian connectivity proposed by the project, an overview of the proposed project construction phasing, with a focus on construction phasing within the Georgetown to Lewis Trail connection, and go over the proposed project timing. Since this is a recording and I will not be available for questions after the presentation, I am leaving you with my contact information. So please feel free to reach out to me via email or phone. So the project is located in Sussex County, west of Lewis, for those folks who are not familiar. The project extends approximately 1.75 miles along SR1 from the northern limits near the Red Mill Pond, south to the southern limits near the 5 Points intersection. As the name suggests, the project includes improvements along Minus Conway and SR1 intersection, as well as New Road. So the main aspects of the project include the construction of service roads to provide local residents an east to west connection that does not require accessing SR1. This is achieved through the construction of a connector road shown here under the Nassau bridges, as well as service roads on the east and west sides of SR1. The project will include 3 roundabouts ranging from 130 to 150 feet in diameter, one on Minus Conway Road, shown here, one on New Road and Nassau Road intersection, and one on the west side of SR1 connecting the 2 proposed service roads to Janus Road, shown here, near the Lewis Senior Center, shown where I am hovering my icon. In order to minimize impacts to adjacent properties along the project, we will be pinching the median and reconstructing each direction of SR1 closer together. So we're able to maintain those 2 northbound and southbound lanes along SR1 by bringing both directions closer together and separating them through the construction of a concrete barrier to maintain safety. So we do that on the north side of the Nassau bridges shown here. And then we veer back to separating to pretty much SR1 will stay where it is now as we go over the Nassau bridges. And then both northbound and southbound will come closer together once again south of that. So the shared use path and sidewalks for the project. So enhancing the multimodal transportation and connectivity, particularly when it comes to bicyclists and pedestrians, has been a key element of this project. We received several comments from the local residents to make improvements in this regard. This slide shows the proposed shared use path and sidewalk to be included as part of this project. The shared use path is shown in lime green, and the sidewalk in peach or orange color. This lime green color also includes the Georgetown to Lewis Trail as where it sits today, kind of on the top and the bottom of this image. Also, this display does not show it, but we will be extending the shared use path along southbound SR1 to connect to the shared use path network for the Plantation Road project further south near the 5 Points intersection, thereby providing those residents along Plantation Road access to the Georgetown to Lewis Trail through the Conway shared use path. So construction phasing. This slide shows an overall summary of the proposed construction phasing. We currently estimate that the project would take approximately 900 calendar days to construct, or about 2.5 years. Construction would begin with the off-alignment portions of the project to minimize impacts to traffic. So this would include sections on New Road, as shown here under phase 1 in the lime green color. Followed by sections shown in orange. This would be phase 2. It's a pretty big phase, but that would be on the west side of SR1 and include construction of the roundabouts, part of the roundabout on New Road in Nassau, the connector road between the east and west sides of the service roads of SR1, work along Janus Road, connector road connecting the roundabout by the Lewis Senior Center to the roundabout in Conway, and construction of the stormwater pond. So next, under phase 3, we would construct the roundabout, finish constructing the roundabout on Nassau and New Road, and also tie in the alignments along Nassau to the south side of this intersection and north, as well as connecting that new segment of New Road that was built under phase 1 to existing New Road. Once those 3 phases are complete, the service roads would be open to traffic and the crossovers would be closed off, and work on the median of SR1 would begin south of the Nassau bridges, shown as phase 5 in blue. Phase 6 would include work along northbound SR1 and Nassau Road. That would be the area shown here in pink. Phase 7 consists of work along SR1 or southbound SR1 shoulder and curb, as well as reconstruction the Janus Road, SR1 Road intersection, shown here in blue. Phase 8 focuses on the construction of SR1 north of the Nassau bridges, and phase 9 includes work along Nassau Road north of the roundabout at New Road in Nassau, which includes the construction of a shared use path from this point all the way north to Greystone Drive. And phase 10 would be the final paving layer for the entire project. So construction phasing, most of the work that will impact the Georgetown to Lewis Trail would be under construction phase 2. Now phase 2 has been subdivided into 3 subphases, 2A, 2B, and 2C. Most of the construction work will take place under phase 2A, shown here in blue, which focuses on work along Janus Road, the roundabout, the roundabout near the Lewis Senior Center, part of the roundabout on New Road in Nassau, and the service roads west of SR1, as well as the stormwater pond. So before impacting the Georgetown to Lewis Trail, we are planning on constructing as much of the proposed trail as possible without impacting the existing trail. This slide shows our proposed project over an aerial image. This aerial is a few years old, so the trail is not shown, but you can see the old railroad tracks, which is where the trail lays today. So as you can see, a lot of the new connector road off of New Road will be directly impacting that trail. So our plan is to construct the future trail highlighted here in red. And so the goal is to route the trail users onto the new trail from the Lewis Senior Center, go under the Nassau bridges, and further east to a point where the new and old trail intersect. We could also do the final or the crossing of the trail, because that would be done without impacting the existing trail crossing. So we would do as much as we could without impacting the existing trail. So once we have this new path for the trail users and we can route them around the new construction, we would begin the construction of this connector road under the Nassau bridges. The remaining segment of the trail, of the future trail, would be constructed closer to the end of Phase 2C and before the construction of Phase 3 to again minimize impacts to trail users. So one more thing I wanted to mention is regarding the trail beneath the Nassau bridges. This trail would be relocated to the south side of the bridge piers, which will require the construction of a retaining wall. So the image to the left is a Google Street View of the Georgetown to Lewis Trail looking west today. And the image to the right shows the proposed connector road and trail in the future condition. So this rendering is a few years old, so it does not show the retaining wall that is proposed, but it gives you an idea of the trail and road alignments and what they will look like. So where the trail sits today will be the new connector road, and the trail will be relocated to this just south of the piers, shown on this rendering. So this slide shows the approximate location of the retaining wall, shown by this red line. The wall will be about 8 foot high and 266 feet long. The actual type of the wall to be used is still being evaluated by our bridge design team. They're evaluating whether to construct a soil nail wall or a cast in place. But ultimately, a retaining wall with those characteristics will be part of the project. I should also mention that this wall will include some sort of form liner to improve the aesthetics and visual appeal of the retaining wall. Particularly in this area of the state, we have received comments from the public and other organizations to construct something that will match the atmosphere of the area. So these are just a few examples. The photo on the left is actually a photo of a retaining wall built in Newcastle County. So this brings me to the project schedule. We have completed several key milestones for this project in 2020 and 2021, with the last one being finalizing the right-of-way plans, which are needed to begin acquisitions of land for the project. So this process can take some time, so we anticipate having final construction plans by June of 2022 and advertise in the fall of 2022 and begin construction in the spring or summer of 2023. And again, construction is anticipated to take about 2.5 years. And that being said, that brings me to the end of my presentation. Again, please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or comments on this project. And again, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Excuse me. Yeah, any questions, please do not raise your hand or ask me because I will not be able to answer them. So if anybody has any questions, please email them to me and then I will forward them to Ed for him to answer.
Okay, so next is the Rails to Trails Hall of Fame nomination.
So, yes, I'll go over this real quick. Many of you know the Rails to Trail Conservancy has nominated the Georgetown to Lewis Trail, Junction and Breakwater Trail, and 2021 Rail Trail Hall of Fame. So I've sent a couple emails out to the council already to get out and vote for this trail. You can vote as many times as you want. I probably vote about 200 times a day, you know, so it's unlimited. So if it means stacking the votes, then so be it. So get out there and vote often. Deadline is August 6th at 11:59 p.m. So once you get used to 3 clicks, it doesn't take long to keep voting over and over again. So I urge you to vote again as often as you can.
How do we vote?
There's a website. It's on this announcement. You can go to a website for the Rails to Trails Conservancy. It's right here. And again, you can vote as many times as you want. Chris, if you want, I will forward you the link.
Okay.
Email the link to you directly.
Okay, thanks.
Or I can give you a copy of our announcement and you can take it home and start voting.
Good.
I'd like that too, John.
I'm sorry?
This is Gary. I said I'd like that too. Thank you.
Okay, I'll get that. I think I still have your email address. So if you want to send me a test email address just to make sure.
Hey, John, it's Wendy. It's also on the banner of the DelDOT homepage. So if you go to deldot.gov, you'll see
That's
it
right.
there.
That's right. Thank you. All right, that's all I have for that one. So please
John,
again.
John, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Mike Tyler. I don't want to be patting a lot of people on the back about this, but the Lewis, Georgetown, not Georgetown, the Lewis Breakwater Trail was started by 3 people, and nobody got. It was Larry Wonderland, Jim Ippolito, and Mike Tyler. We're the ones who pushed DelDOT and DenRec to do this, and I didn't see any mention of this. They were dedicating this trail to Tom Draper. I don't think he ever rode it, but we used to ride it, and we were getting threatened to be arrested by the developer because we came across their land. We rode that trail when there were tracks on. Well, there were railroad ties on it, and I just think that's a thing that I think Larry Wonderland's name is on the bridge that we used to have to walk across because there were no ties there. But I just think those people should be given some credit in this thing if it does make the Hall of Fame.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you.
Okay.
You good on that?
I think so.
All right, so John, you're up for the next one. Next couple things as well. The first one is the Lab 2021 Bicycle Friendly State Survey.
I don't have any displays for that one. I just wanted to let the council know that we received the 2021 Bicycle Friendly State Survey a couple weeks ago. This survey has only 30 questions, when the previous survey of 2019 had 82. So they think they're trying to condense it down some, it appears. With the help of John Bear with Bike Delaware, we've got probably 99% of the questions answered. There's still a couple questions that I've reached out to other sections, such as, and I reached out to people on this council. Those include Tyler Wright, State Police. He helped me with the question. Mike Crumrine with DENRAC, he's helping me with the funding question. Jackie with OHS, I think she was also included on the same email I sent to Tyler. So anyone who I thought on the council could help, I contacted. So just wanted to thank those individuals. The deadline is August 20th. So once I have everything ready to go, I'm going to have an internal meeting with Pam, Jeff Nisgoda, and Anthony. We're going to go over the questions and answers and make sure they're fine with them. And then if they're fine, it's going to go up to the secretary's office for her review. And then once she gives her okay, I will submit the application. So that's all I had for that.
Shebert, did you send an email about this thing?
I don't think so. I sent an email about the crash report.
Okay. So next item on the, well, does anybody have any questions about the survey? When do you get a response on that thing, John?
They said usually by the end, it's typically by the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe in the December meeting, maybe?
December, yeah.
Okay.
That's how it was last time.
Any other questions for John?
Where can the survey be found that came in on?
Well, I have it because it's sent to all the coordinators. So right now it's only for me. So Lab has a LAB, League of American Bicyclists, as their own company that does the survey and submits it to all the state bicycle coordinators. So it only goes out to those individuals. But,
Yeah, and then usually we get the score back and we take a look at it.
Yep.
Okay, next item is the FY22 Delaware Bicycle Council budget.
Excuse me, yes, I just wanted to just show this to the council under the new fiscal year. This is the budget that was pretty much requested by the council. Now, I know last fiscal year there was a little discrepancy where the additional funds for the grant was not in the budget. However, before Mark Cote retired, he made sure that money was in fact allocated to the grant. So as you can see, this is the standard money that's allocated for each appropriation. So travel still has $900 that can be used for mileage reimbursements, travel for conferences. I'm sorry. Forget that. Just for travel reimbursement, mileage reimbursement. Sorry. Contractual services is now $32,000. So again, $30,000 is for the grant, and other services, which is very general, that can be used for other services, registration fees for any type of conference, hotels that any council member may want to attend. So I left that as, again, very generic, just standard 2,000. And under supplies, the remaining budget goes under supplies, where typically it's $7,000 for the bicycle lights, and then remaining parts and supplies or the remaining amount of 10,000 typically goes for parts and supplies, which we do use that money. And we even though, this year, the J1 students turnout was very low, we still had a lot of parts and supplies that we needed to either restock from last year, and still we still had J1 students show up. We did loan out like 150 bikes, but that did not stop. A lot of them who needed tire repairs, maintenance, general maintenance to come by to our bike garage for repairs. And so those parts and supplies needed to be replenished. So the money does get spent on those items. So again, this is just I just wanted to show the council. This is the basic amounts for each appropriation. If the council can at any time discuss the budget and vote on how if they want to change anything, they can discuss and vote on how they want to do that. If anybody has any recommendations on how the money should be spent, they can come up at a future council meeting. Just let myself or Scott know. So I just wanted to show what this year's budget basically looks like.
So usually what we do, I believe, is there's a small committee made up of council people that review the budget, and then we come back and take an action on it? Is that, am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, typically a working group is formed, and if they had any ideas on how the money should be appropriated or allocated, they would come up with a proposal, and it would be reviewed by the council and voted on at the next meeting. So that's something that needs to be done. That we can do that.
So James is not here. He usually takes some initiative on this. Is there anybody else that wants to lead that committee?
This is Walt. I'll be I'm up for that.
Okay. So we need a couple more volunteers to help out. Walt, I think we usually have 3 people, right?
Yeah, minimum 3.
What was the man's name that moved to Virginia, him and his wife, that he was down there?
I don't know, Walt.
Yeah,
Bruce.
Huh?
Bruce. I'm sorry, Bruce Kaufman. Yeah.
That's him,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, he was our former bike mechanic, yes. And him and his wife had a lot to do with the International Student Outreach Program. So yes, they moved to Alexandria, sorry.
I think grandkids were involved or something of the nature.
Kids and grandkids, yep.
Is there any other volunteers for the budget review committee?
I can help out again this year.
Thank you, Shebra.
There's 2.
I think I'm being volunteered.
Hurry on the grant working group.
I know, I haven't done anything on that. I'm trying to make up.
All right, so we've got, unless there's any other volunteers, we have Walt Bryan, Shebra, and Tom Hartley for the budget working group.
It's not a big deal, so.
May I make a suggestion for the consideration for the budget group?
Absolutely.
We used to put some money aside in case one of our members could go to the national conference. And I don't see that allocation here if they would look into that.
Well, I know last year it was set aside for the Walk Bike Place Conference. That's typically held every other year. Although last year it was held 2019 and 2021, and then 2020 and 2021, but the 2021 was all virtual. So I don't know what they're planning on doing, if any, next year. But I know James attended that, and if he was here, he was going to go over what that conference was like and maybe have some more information. But I can reach out to James to see if he knows if the conference is being held again next year, or are they going to do what they typically do, and that's skip a year and then have it the following year.
Mike, I think your suggestion is very well taken. But I attended New Orleans, and I should have reviewed the total concept and program before I went, because it took Anthony and Jeff and me and a couple more a half a day to get acclimated down there as to what we ought to do and what we ought to participate in.
But if that Walk Bike Place conference is coming back next year, Mike, you know, and if a council member wants to go, then yeah, money can be used for that. And now, doesn't mean that, you know, once this group reviews it and submits their recommendation and it's voted on at the next meeting, it doesn't mean that the council can't come back and re-vote or rediscuss issues that might come up later on. You have the whole fiscal year. So just throwing that out, that it's not a one-time thing. It can still be reviewed, discussed, and voted on throughout the fiscal year.
And be aware that DelDOT's going to reimburse everybody for all the expenses either. It'll cost you a couple $1,000s.
Thank you,
Great.
Walt.
Great, thank you.
I'm sure you enjoy it. Never mind.
Do what?
Nothing. Moving on to the next item.
Wait, I don't think we got any nominee motions. Do we need to vote, like?
Oh, for the committee?
Yeah.
Oh, do we? All right, so can we have an motion?
So moved.
There we go.
Walt.
Well, I'm done. Second.
Second.
Any object? All right.
Okay, so next next on the agenda is Michelle Mallon, who wants to talk about the Delaware Bike Route 1 Challenge. She reached out to John and I over email and would like to talk to the council about how they could participate in this, what's going on with this thing. So can we get Michelle on?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can you see me? I did put my video on to be more friendly. Thank you so much for allowing me to come in and talk for just a few minutes. I represent the, there's no reverb, right?
No, you're good.
Okay, all right, great. I represent the Cancer Support Community Delaware here in Rehoboth Beach, and we're doing a new fundraiser. We're standing behind a cyclist, triathlete cyclist Sean Saxton, and September 26th, he's going to be cycling 146 miles from the top to bottom of Delaware. He did it last year. He raised over $6,000. We're very proud of him. He donated the funds to us due to a relative who had been impacted by cancer, and he wants to come back and do it again. DelDOT has put together a bicycle Route 1, which you all may or may not be familiar with. So he will be biking that trail again, or I shouldn't say trail, but he'll be doing that course again. It actually does not go on to Route 1 Coastal Highway until about mile marker 126. But reason for my engagement today is to see if anybody's willing to participate, to brainstorm. Pretty much it's the committee of one here. So you're looking at the planning and the execution. Again, he will have a lot of support, I know, as it gets closer, but you know, we're working with DelDOT. We're making sure we get our permit applications, doing all our P's and Q's. However, I thought there might be some ways to build throughout the state, you know, an initiative to practice, you know, safe biking and make this more of a partnership between the two. I don't know if anybody has any questions. It's kind of where we are.
We're good now? So Michelle, could you give us an idea of like the kind of things people have done in the past that would be similar to what you're talking about?
Well, it's unique. You know, I've been trying to do some research. Sean, he's a young enthusiast, entrepreneur, and also just activist. But, you know, as far as fundraising, you know, event-based fundraising, what I'm looking to do is to, you know, have people at mile markers cheering them on and raising funds in that way. To make it a more of a community-wide effort, and also to make sure that if we are doing this type of promotion, what else can we do with the Bike Council to make sure that communities are practicing, you know, safe biking and wearing helmets, and, you know, making sure that they're properly appareled, and just ways to promote, you know, good practices as well. So we haven't really done much. I mean, you know, lawn parties is kind of what I'm thinking, or, you know, whether it's advocacy from an after party standpoint where, you know, we're talking about the importance of safety and how, you know, how he takes that very seriously, is so do, you know, the entire state of Delaware. If that answers your question.
John, would you publish Michelle's contact information?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
And I guess we could put something on the website.
If she has, yeah, anything, a flyer or any information, or if she has a link, yeah, we can do that.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, I have our event page is live now. We do also have the interactive map of his actual route too, if that's helpful. I can certainly, I have a packet of information that includes like sponsor levels and things like that, but it's got a picture of him and, you know, some.
What date is it?
It's Sunday, September 26th. So it's, he'll be starting around 7 a.m. that morning, and hopes to be breaking his own record around 3 o'clock, if not before, down in Fenwick.
And what are you going to have at the end of the event? You said you're having some kind of after party or something?
We're still trying to see, you know, last year he ended up in a parking lot with his family, you know, with taking pictures and just, you know, celebrating there. So we're hoping to make it a little more formal. We haven't secured a location yet. We're still getting a little pushback. It's still September, so there's still, you know, some visibility and tourism happening down in that area. So I think it's a little tight. But I'm hoping to even talk to like the Fenwick Islander bike shop, or just to get something happening. But if anybody has any contacts or leads, you know, on businesses that might be willing to engage and participate, and it doesn't even have to be on a monetary level, just to engage the community.
Okay. So we'll put a link to your thing on our website, and then of course, if anybody on the council has any ideas, it sounds like Walt might have something, we'll reach out to you.
Michelle, can you tell us what the organization is again, please?
Certainly, it's the Cancer Support Community Delaware.
Are you involved with the Delaware Cancer Consortium, or do you work with them at all?
Sorry, it's a little hard to hear you.
Are you affiliated, or do you work at all with the Delaware Cancer Consortium?
Delaware Cancer Coalition?
The Delaware Cancer Consortium.
Oh, the consortium. Not to my knowledge, but I'm sure there's some partnerships that we've done, and we collaborate in many ways with many of our partners. We do a lot of partnerships with BB down here in Sussex County, but we are statewide. Our headquarters is in Newcastle County off of Lancaster Pike. We also have a Kent County location next to Bay Health. And then our Sussex County office is behind the BB Tunnel Cancer Center. We've been in the community for 25 years, so we're actually celebrating our 25-year anniversary this year.
Thank you.
Michelle, would you mind if we shared your contact info with everyone in chat?
That'd be great.
Any other questions for Michelle? Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Oh, somebody had something.
I thought Mac was saying something. I guess not. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so that concludes new business. First item under old business is the Cycling Innovation Grant update and reach outs.
Supposed to be.
That's supposed to be you. So, John, you just want to say what we've got so far? We'll start off with that.
Just got one, right?
Right now, we have one application from town of Milton. It's basically the same application, or the proposal is the same project from 2019 and 2020. The feasibility study for a shared use path along Lavinia Street from the recently constructed Rails Trail Phase 2 to Mulberry.
I've been trying to get in here. It's Roger. It's Roger Roy. For a new business, I had something else to bring up.
Roger, we can't hear you. You're muffled.
I had something else to bring up on the new business. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to let the council know I'll be resigning after tonight's meeting. So this is going to be my last meeting. I no longer live in Newcastle County. I represent Newcastle County. So I'm just going to be resigning. This is going to be my last meeting.
Guess that means we need to find a replacement.
Yes.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay, just wanted to let you know.
Hey, Roger, how many years?
Oh, probably since, I don't know, 2008, probably. It was shortly after I got out of the General Assembly that I was appointed to the council.
Right. Oh.
Can we ask you to find your replacement?
It's gonna be... So you're going to have to find somebody up in Newcastle County.
I'll reach out to the governor's office and see if she's aware. We'll need a letter from you if you haven't already done that.
Yeah, I have not. Who is
Yeah,
who's the gal who does all the appointments?
I'll send you her contact information tomorrow. I don't know the name off the top of my head, so I'll.
Okay, very good.
I'll send that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Well, thanks for all the work you've done and for the service on the council.
Well, it was great serving with all you people on there. I know it's voluntary, and I enjoyed doing it, so.
Roger, can we have a meeting down at your house in Florida?
Hopefully, if you guys want to come down.
Send us the address.
I got it.
We're good. We'll let you know a couple days before we show up.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back to the grant.
Okay, so it was for Milton, same proposal as previous years. I didn't have time to really look through in detail the grant other than the amount they're asking for is $27,000, and I know the previous years they did not have any type of town or community support. In this application, they do have a letter of support from the town council, which is something they didn't have last time. But I think, and again, this will be discussed with the working group. It's a possibility that there's still going to be the same issues as previous years with right-of-way, environmental, utilities, but that's something that will be discussed with, as it goes through the process. So
what's our deadline for submissions?
The last day in August, 31st at midnight, or 11:59 is when they need to be submitted.
So probably in the next week, since we haven't really done, I think Scott, did you reach out to a couple people?
Yeah, I reached out to Georgetown.
Okay.
They had submitted before, and I told them there was some support for their project before. Mike had mentioned it, and they are working on that last part of the trail that's going to be starting at the town. So
Yeah, we should be starting that work in August, I believe, from
so I
Park.
I emailed the town manager and let him know, just reminded him that was out there, and we would be certainly happy to entertain a grant application from them.
Right. So the other council, the other people, excuse me, that are on the working group are Fran and myself, Mike Wagner, Walt, you're on there. Scott's already made one. We ought to try to at least reach out to a couple people each and try to just encourage them, and then find out if there's any barriers to them getting something in, but it takes a few weeks for them to pull something together. So
now I have received an email from the city of Dover. So again, they're just inquiring. I don't know if they're going to submit. So the city of Dover might be thinking of submitting.
Well, yeah, I have some contacts there. I can call them.
do you know who called or who contacted you?
Lisa Chase.
She's the grant writer.
Yes.
Sussex counties will be in a couple of weeks.
I'll reach out to folks via email or phone and try to just see if we can get a little TAC group in the next week to encourage a few more applications. I didn't think the Milton application last year actually was very weak. I thought it scored relatively high. I don't remember exactly where it was.
It was third.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, before 2019, it was fourth. Last year, it was third.
Right.
And then before I forget, I also had inquiries from Smyrna.
Okay.
So
I can call them too. We have
apparently they had a big change of command up there in leadership. So they're trying to figure things out. So they had seen that the town had applied and got a grant a couple years ago, Duck Creek Trail. So I don't know if they're going to be applying for another one or not. So.
John, as a slight tangent, did that Duck Creek proposal idea die because of the not being able to make the connection at the road and the?
As far as I know, when Abbott was there, to my knowledge, he's not there any longer. They were trying to get funds for design of that project. They had some right-of-way issues that they were dealing with, but I don't know if they were again using town funds to build this project, or if they want to reach out to get grants or reach out to the state. I have no idea. Once they completed their study, it appeared via their application that the town was going to take the project further. Now, how that was to be done, I don't know.
I think what happened.
The Sussex County application is about half done.
And Walt, what's that one for? Do you know?
It's for the trail between Cold Spring and Milton.
Oh, that would be very good. All right, that's not much of an update. I'll be using my 0 minutes.
There you go.
Okay. Next, John, is the crash report.
Yeah, I don't know if that should have been my name or your name.
Yeah, so I think that's my name, actually. So I had sent out, so at the last meeting, John had talked about the crash report data. We were not able to everybody had the crash report data. It was sent by email before the meeting. And we had some discussion about it, but James had brought up that it would be a little bit more useful if it was presented in a map form. So I had volunteered to put together a request, which we're going to send to John to forward to the appropriate personnel at DelDOT. Basically asking what it is that we would like them to create. So basically what I came up with, I had sent to everybody on the council, but it was basically would be a GIS based map. It's like the other maps on the gateway. And it would have, a base map, which would be the functional classification map, which would show all the roads and what kind of roads they are. And then, I had picked just kind of arbitrarily, so you would see all the crashes as point features. And then I picked, it's like around eight to 10 of the items from the crash report that would be displayed if you clicked on that dot. So we did receive a couple pieces of feedback from them. One was from Marty, and Marty, jump in if I'm not representing what you said, but Marty was worried that the list that I had provided was kind of limited and that we wouldn't have the full suite of information.
That's
you there, Marty?
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm taking that you would like to see all the information that's in the crash report on the essentially on the data when you click on the points.
Yeah, I don't need people's individual names or personal information, but we do need, but we do need the description of what was caused the accident or or I'm going to call it the incident. Otherwise, it really doesn't get you that far to see time of day or road conditions or anything without without the description of what caused the incident. And that should not be confidential. I can see we don't need to know people's names or things like that. Driver's license, things like that. But a description of the incident itself, which is in the report, is something that we need to see.
Okay. I also had we got some feedback from Sheba. Sheba, what was your comment?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, it sounds like the report only captures but so much information. So some of the things we might want to know a little bit more information about, unless the state police form is actually changed, we're just not going to be able to get that information. So I can't recall what some of the indicators that I was thinking that a comprehensive report should have. I think Martin was also things as well, but if essentially we can only get the information that's on the crash report, we would have to somehow work with the police to change the report if we want to get that information.
Okay, thank you.
That was my only comment. Thanks.
So I didn't get any other comments on the email. Is there anybody else that would like to comment on this request that we're making to DelDOT? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is make a motion that we proceed with this draft that I put together, revised in accordance with Marty's comments, to include all the information that's on the crash report. And I'll go ahead and forward that to John. And that is how we're proceeding. So we need, if somebody else agrees with that, please second.
I'd like to second it. Who's the first? Well, you made the motion.
I made the motion.
You made the motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tom motion first and Walt second.
Okay. So I will do that tomorrow, and then John, you can pass that on to the appropriate person, and we'll get some feedback.
We got a question around the source of the data.
If you can email me the question, I'm not gonna be able to answer that. I'd have to go back to the person who I got the information from. So, is it a council member? No, okay.
Okay, so next item is the Office of Highway Safety bicycle safety proposal. Just so everybody, if you recall at the last meeting, Jackie was kind enough to kind of give us a rundown of how they do their programming, and what kind of came out of that was that a lot of their resources go into pedestrian safety type things. They did offer, and this is the main reason why I asked this to be put on the agenda, was they did tell us that they accept proposals for safety related items. So basically what we're asking is if there's anybody on the council that has any ideas for the kinds of things that we could put in front of the Office of Highway Safety. Mike had mentioned that he does a little bit with driver's education. And then I saw a couple emails from James where he sent some expanded driver education programs that other states do. So I think we have an opportunity here to do something, but it's gonna take somebody on the council putting some initiative into making this work. So that's why I put it on the agenda. It's up to one of us to try to propel this if we're interested.
I got a comment. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a comment. I talked to, I forget his name, but he's the director of the Delaware Safety Council. And that's the people that put on the Delaware, the safe driving program, and you complete their course and you get 10% off your insurance. I'll think his name in a minute, but he's the lead guitarist with Kathy and the Hot Rods. I mean, they're jamming. If you get a chance, go see them. But anyway, I asked him about putting bicycle safety within that defensive driving program, and he said, yes, we can certainly do it.
So Walt, what does that mean? Like, do we need to do something to make that happen, or is that something that they can do?
We need to present to them, say 20 or 30 minutes presentation on bicycle safety, and they will incorporate it in the courses that they put out to the public every year.
Wow. Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Delaware Safety Council?
Yes, I've taken the thing.
Okay, I have too, and the first time you take it, you get 10% off your insurance, and then in 3 years you take it again, you get 15% off. And I've been doing it for 20-some years. But anyway, if we put together a presentation for them, they'll put it in their curriculum.
Okay, that's great news. I think James has some ideas about this. So what I'm going to propose, unless anybody else has any comments or ideas, is that we follow up with James on this idea that Walt has, and we'll see what we can do, and we'll present hopefully something at the next council meeting on some kind of movement forward on this.
Great.
Thank you, Walt.
Scott.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Scott, you shoot me an email tomorrow and I'll give you the name of who's the executive director of the Delaware Safety Council. I'm on the board of directors there.
You are? Man, we got a slam dunk going there. I can't think of his name, Mike.
Because you spoke about it now, I can see his face and I know his name, but it's just not coming to me right now.
I'm tell you what, he plays the bass on Kathy and the Hot Rods.
You already promoted that once, Walt. You can't do it anymore.
He gets a cut.
I'm starting to think so.
He's the manager.
Okay. Moving on then.
I think it's Pete Booker.
You're right. You're right. He lives down here in Lewis.
If he says that again, he's getting muted. All right, so next is, yeah, we got 15 minutes left. So next is the Bicycle Route 1 update. We haven't had any action on this for a while. We have completed our initial exercise that we went through in the ratings for Kent and Sussex counties. I think we talked about John Bear helping us out on Newcastle County last time.
Yes, and I think he went lame on me.
Okay.
So I will get with John.
He's still on the call?
I know his phone number.
And then Chris, you indicated that a person named Jim Hutchinson was willing to give us some feedback on the Newcastle County section, or actually the whole thing?
Yeah, he was a rider with Sean, the guy who's doing the charity ride this year.
Okay.
And so he had some feedback.
All right, so I will reach out to him and see how we can integrate his comments into what we've already done for Kent and Sussex, and then we'll see if we can link them up with Tom and John.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just keeping that on the agenda so that we can hopefully make that happen. We've been working on it for a while, so I don't want it to die. We do have a lot of good ideas, and there's been a good amount of work by the Sussex cyclist, and then Chris and I worked on it for Kent, so we don't want it to go away. Any questions on the Bike Route 1 update? Okay, John, you're up.
All right, this is the Bikeway project updates. This is on the Bicycle Council website. So kind of trying to condense this down a little bit. So right now, these were the projects that are completed. And so it gives you a list, the contract number, when they were completed. And just quickly going through the projects that are still in design and planning. We have the Double Bridges Road Trail. It's currently in survey plans. And so we're waiting to get the next phase or next plan submission in for this project. To the best of my knowledge, the PSD is on schedule for November of 2022. Those who may not recall that the separate charities had from Muddy Neck Road all the way down to Parker House Road. That'll be a great facility to have. We do have a lot of riders, and especially J1 students, ride this road to get to work in Bethany. So this would be a great facility to make it safer for them to travel. The Delaware Avenue project is still on the schedule, and for the separate cycle track. So we still have that project ongoing. Munchie Branch Road, multi-use trail, which is an 8-foot trail on what I call the east side of Munchie Branch, from Parsonage Road to the now 4-way stop at Field Lane. During the last plan submission, we had a couple of items that were added on, which cost additional funds. Those funds were allocated and added to the project. The engineer is now working on redesigning this work, and The schedule has been revised to the final right-of-way construction are to be distributed in August of 2021, and then PS&E for October 2021, with an estimated construction beginning in the spring of 2022 and completed by Memorial Day of 2022. Capital City Phase 3, the final right-of-way and construction will be submitted in 2021. PS&E is scheduled for December of 2021. We just completed Phase 2 of the Capital City Trail. So this is extending that trail on the south side of Route 10 all the way to Camden, where it will tie it into the Camden, the East Camden Byway or bypass project.
So John, where is that going to connect until that other thing is done? How's that going to terminate at the highway now?
It's going to tie into First 10th Street, which is a little side street off of Route 10.
Okay.
Then when the east.
Oh, so it's not going to go all the way to the highway?
No, it's going to stop. The East Camden bypass project is going to pick up that trail and extend it through their project.
Okay.
We'll be connecting it through the roundabout at Route 10, 13, and then connect into 13. We also have the dualization or the third lane project on 13 that's going to have a shared use path. And so it'll all connect to those two projects. But those projects are a little further out for construction. So Georgetown to Lewis, Phase 8, this goes from the Little League Park to Park Avenue. The project was awarded and they anticipate starting construction sometime this month. And let's see, the next one, the Georgetown Lewis Trail, Cool Spring to Fisher Road. This is extending the trail on the north side of Route 9 to the intersection at Fisher. And then it will cross Route 9 at the signalized intersection and go on the east side of Fisher down to the crossing. Now, as part of that project, there's also a little spur trail that'll be along the abandoned railroad line that will, I think it's about, I don't know how far exactly back it goes, but it will stop where the future park development is coming in, and then the park will pick up and have it connect internally. Again, it's PS&E scheduled for August with starting construction in the fall. We talked about this project before, previous council meetings. Tom Felice was here with the Coastal Highway intersection improvement. Plans were submitted. The semifinal plans were distributed in July. Still, as of right now, I do not know what the final plan distribution will be or when PS&E. This is the realignment of the ramp at Kings Highway and Route 1. So it'll make it more of a T intersection to get cars to slow down before making that right turn and going on to Kings Highway. Now, on top of that, we have the US 9 Kings Highway Dartmouth Drive to Freeman Highway project. This project consists of dualizing Kings Highway from SR1 to Freeman, as well as making improvements at intersections and multimodal upgrades within the project limits. Survey plans were just distributed last month. However, this project's quite a few years out. As you can see, this PS&E is not scheduled till 2025. So we are trying our best to get that multimodal connection from Route 1, and I would like to get it all the way to where it connects to the existing paths there at the governor's development there on Kings Highway near Gills Neck Bridge. Hope to get that connection. That would be a great network.
So on the right side, where, is that Gill's Neck down there, or is that going over the Freeman Bridge?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Gill's Neck is this.
That's Gill's Neck there.
Gill's Neck.
Okay.
The Governor's right at Clay has a shared use path that starts at Clay on their side and goes along Kings and Gill's Neck. We're trying to get that connection here and then look at trying to maybe further that connection and possibly what I would like to see is actually get it connected to the Junction Breakwater Trail. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what we would like to see. So again, it's in the early survey stage right now. And that is all I have for updates. Any questions?
John, we had heard a comment, I don't know, a question or something about a bridge overpass or what have you, where the Lewis to Georgetown Trail crosses Route 9. Is that way off?
It's not a DelDOT project at this time. It's all.
I mean, is it a thought? Is it a concept? Is it anything?
It's all being handled by Sussex County. So we have not received, to my knowledge, DelDOT has not received any requests to make that one of our projects.
Was that what Walt's comment was, going from the Route 9 or the
Milton to Colesburg?
Yes. Not the overpass.
The Sussex Land Trust is trying to build that bridge, build that overpass.
Okay.
Again, to the best of my knowledge, it's all going to be private funded, either county or Sussex Land Trust.
So Walt, so they've got to talk to the Department of Transportation to build that bridge. So when are they doing that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know who to ask, but I don't know.
That's a pretty big lift.
Yeah.
That's a huge lift.
I mean, it'd almost be like the golf cart bridge there at Baywood.
That's exactly what it would be. That's exactly.
That was fully funded by Tunnel.
Okay.
But they had to get permission from DelDOT to get an aerial easement in order to cross 24.
Well, everybody keeps asking about that, so it seems like
it must.
I know, John, it's not your department, but we need to, maybe we can get some more information somehow. Walt?
I can ask what's his name. What's that fellow that retired from DenRec? He's now heading up that construction group in Lewis.
Mark Jura.
That's him. And another one is Casey Kenton. He's on there. Russ Mears is the vice chairman of that bunch. They know, or I would hope they know what's going on. I don't know that they know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know they had completed their study, what the next steps are.
They don't need any money with what they're doing over there between Cool Spring and Milton. Good Lord.
Ask if you can, Walt.
I will.
It just seems kind of weird that we've got a private thing and a public thing and they're not connected together. So
I'd agree.
Weird.
I'd agree.
Motion to adjourn?
Can I make my last motion?
Absolutely, Roger.
We adjourn.
All right, brother, who's seconding it?
Mike Wagner.
Mike Wagner. All right. It is, man, 6:59. Even with all the little hiccups, we still got done by 7.
thanks everybody for getting it done.